8,000 years ago, an ancient people traveled these misty, fertile riverbanks in what is now known as Piedmont, North Carolina. Now, modern-day travelers stop near those same riverbanks to visit a city and county that have grown from a fertile past to become a place for today. We want to tell you a bit about ourselves and invite you to share with us the rich experiences of life in Winston-Salem and Forsyth County, where we walk the busy streets of a renewed and vibrant center city and stroll the lanes of picturesque neighborhoods. And we haven't lost sight of our rural connections. We're down-home business people and industrialists of international scale. Nearly 140,000 of us work in a variety of jobs from factory to front office. We're also artists, skilled craftsmen, and performers of the first degree. And we place artistic excellence and continued cultural development among our highest pursuits. A major part of our history, of our religious, vocational, and cultural beginnings, lives again today. We're proud of our public and private schools. Our students consistently score well in national achievement tests. And each year, hundreds of graduates of our institutions of higher learning leave the classroom to make their contributions in the courtroom, boardroom, operating room, and other workplaces throughout the world. This has been the home of many people of vision and far-reaching influence, and their philanthropy continues to enrich our lives. Several of yesterday's private estates, homes, and gardens are today open to us all for relaxation and contemplation. In Winston-Salem and Forsyth County, you can step back into history while enjoying the best of today. In the next few minutes, we'll show you some of the highlights of our community, what to do, where to go, and even how to get there. Winston-Salem and the Piedmont Triad present an array of interesting experiences, arts and entertainment, visitor attractions, professional sports, fantastic dining, and great places to shop. And Winston-Salem's neighbor, High Point, is the furniture capital, where you'll find great values on the best furniture in the world. We'll tell you all about that and more, so stay tuned to First Stop, the video guide to Winston-Salem and the Triad. The Yadkin River on the county's western boundary might be considered a bed of civilization in this part of North Carolina. Tools, weapons, jewelry, and utensils found in the area indicate that Native Americans lived here for thousands of years. These and other exhibits at Wake Forest University's Museum of Man help tell the story of the Piedmont's bygone races. 17 canoeing access points have been established on the Yadkin River, including one at Forsyth County's Tanglewood Park. Most visitors, however, reach Tanglewood from Interstate 40, just west of Clemens. Tanglewood, one of the county's earliest farms and later a Reynolds family estate, is today a recreational resort and public park covering more than 1,100 acres of rolling countryside. It's a golfer's dream with 36 championship holes flanked by striking natural beauty. A PGA National Championship was played on the park's challenging West Course, which was designed by Robert Trent Jones. Enjoy golf, tennis, horseback riding, and fishing year-round, along with the park's campground and natural areas. Seasonal activities include boating, swimming, and a giant water slide. Many couples have found the picturesque gardens or historic Mount Pleasant Church a perfect place for a wedding. And for receptions, banquets, and meetings, a variety of spaces is available, including a beautifully redesigned barn, Special events at the park include Tanglewood's famed steeplechase in May, orchestral music at sunset in early summer, and a major PGA Seniors Golf Tournament in the fall. For more information about this special place, call the Tanglewood office or take the Tanglewood exit from I-40 west of Clemens. Like Tanglewood, Forsyth County's Nature Science Center offers entertainment and enlightenment for youngsters and adults. Marvel at the blades that once drove the world's largest power-generating windmill. Ponder the mysteries of the universe, or make a new friend. The Nature Science Center is just off Haynes Mill Road near US 52 North and University Parkway. Winston-Salem and Forsyth County abound with low-cost recreation. Play golf at several public courses. Burn off some calories at outdoor exercise trails. Ice skate from fall to spring at Beneath the Elms below the Cherry Marshall parking deck downtown. And enjoy one of the many city parks, like Haynes Park shown here in the city's West End. Most of the city parks include tennis courts and playgrounds. The city parks include historic Bethabara, where you can return to the frontier days of the 1750s. The first settlers were Moravians, members of a Protestant denomination that began in Central Europe in the 15th century. They came here by way of another settlement in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and made this a thriving outpost in the wilderness. Visit the Settlers' Gamayan House or Congregation House and other historic buildings and see how those brave folk lived behind a palisade erected to protect them from warring Indians. The story goes that it was not weapons, but the settlers' trumpet and clanging bell that frightened the marauding braves away forever. A group of the Bethabara settlers and others formed Bethania in 1759. It looks much the same today. Perhaps the most exciting days in the history of this quiet village were in 1781, during an encampment by Lord Cornwallis and his British Army. Perseverance and industry were the Moravians' watchwords. And 12 years after the establishment of Bethabara, the building of Salem began in 1766. The first room of the first house held a loom, foreshadowing the city's later involvement in textiles and apparel. The brethren built their homes to last. This is the fourth house built in Salem and the oldest original structure still standing. It was one of many houses and buildings restored or reconstructed during a preservation effort begun in 1950 and continuing today. An example of the extensive restoration is the Mishk Tobacco Shop, which had been expanded and covered beyond recognition. Today it looks much the way it did after it was built in 1771. Each spring since 1772, the Salem congregation has celebrated Easter with a sunrise service that since 1800 has begun here in front of Home Moravian Church. The service concludes in the nearby Moravian graveyard called God's Acre. Now, thousands of visitors join the congregation each year for the service and the quiet trek to the graveyard. President George Washington visited Salem in 1791 and spent 2 nights here at the Salem Tavern. Next door, a tavern annex was built in 1816. It has been beautifully restored as the Old Salem Tavern, a restaurant that offers good food and the hospitality for which Salem was famous. The staff takes pride in serving a bit of history along with the restaurant's menu of traditional and contemporary favorites. The Old Salem Tavern, South Main Street in Old Salem. Win free passes to Old Salem's 8 intriguing exhibit buildings by playing Find the Passes. A limited number are available each month at selected First Stop sponsors. To find them, you must visit First Stop sponsors outside the hotel and say, "First Stop sent me." Do you have the passes to Old Salem? You could win a fascinating day in one of America's finest historical communities. So get out and play Find the Passes to Old Salem. A city of diverse industry was born in Salem in those early days. Several businesses begun before Winston and Salem merged in 1913 continue to operate today. One of the most prominent is the tobacco company started by 25-year-old Richard Joshua Reynolds in 1875. Reynolds' Little Red Factory was built and equipped for $2,500 to produce chewing tobacco. The company grew to include loose smoking tobacco and pre-rolled cigarettes. Later, the filtered brands that were the city's namesakes helped Reynolds Tobacco Company grow into a multi-million-dollar international corporation. The Reynolds Building was built in 1929, and its architect, Shreve and Lamb of New York, won a major award for their work. They were later commissioned to design the Empire State Building. R.J. Reynolds completed his now famous home place here in 1917. Renolda Village was what one historian called a self-sufficient country estate, practically unequaled in North Carolina. The house was the focal point of the 1,000-acre estate and now houses a nationally known collection of American art. The adjacent formal gardens are filled with native and imported trees and flowers, including dozens of varieties of roses. Paths through the estate are perfect for a quiet walk or nature study. The barn, cattle shed, and other buildings that once served the estate have been converted to house an unusual collection of shops and restaurants. One of those, the Village Tavern, is a relaxing place for lunch, afternoon refreshment, or an evening with friends. You'll find fresh salads, appetizers, gourmet burgers, and chicken grills, all on the menu of the Village Tavern. While you're in Renolda Village, be sure to shop for authentic classic fashions for men and women from Southwick, and polo at the Brothers too, and gourmet foods and quality cookware at the Stocked Pot. The beauty of Renolda is reflected in even the name of La Chaudière, an intimate, family-run restaurant with a French cuisine unequaled for miles around. Enjoy classical French cuisine or the lighter cuisine masseur. Sample a creation from the pâtisserie and take home the memory of a delightful meal at La Chaudière. Renolda Village is on Renolda Road between Coliseum Drive and Silas Creek Parkway. Nestled into the banks of a winding creek on Coliseum Drive is Ryan's, one of the city's most popular restaurants. The natural surroundings and plush home-style comforts go well with generous servings of fresh seafood, steaks, veal, and duck. Ryan's, 200 yards west of University Parkway on Coliseum Drive. You're watching First Stop, the video guide to Winston-Salem and the Triad. Come to Kyoto Japanese Steak and Seafood House for an exotic dining experience. Enjoy hibachi-style cooking at your table and feast on steak, filet mignon, lobster, shrimp, scallops, and chicken. Take advantage of weekday specials Sunday through Thursday. Call now for a reservation. Kyoto Japanese Steak and Seafood House on Bethesda Road off South Stratford Road. First Stop brings you the best of Winston-Salem, including some unique shopping experiences. Here are more of Winston-Salem's best places to shop. For Old Salem and other early American reproductions and adaptations, visit T. Baggy Merchant, the Old Salem Museum Store. For the best antiques, from elegant English to practical primitive, shop the Corner Antiques on the hill at the foot of Summit Street. For fine crafts by contemporary American artists from across the United States, visit Fine Lines in Thruway Center off South Stratford Road at I-40. The coffee pot has become the symbol of Winston-Salem, and here great coffee means Maria's. At Maria's, the aroma of coffee beans roasted fresh daily will entice you. Take home an exotic blend or make up your own. Then shop from an unsurpassed selection of cheeses, wines, chocolates, and other special foods at Maria's, behind Mayberry's off South Stratford Road at I-40. If you need a map to find these and other great places to shop and dine, we've got it covered on the First Stop Finder. Get your copy right here in the hotel. See the video, read the map. The First Stop Finder. This easy-to-follow map lists all the First Stop sponsors and hotels and other points of interest. First Stop and the First Stop Finder, your keys to the city. Pick up your copy of the First Stop Finder in the lobby. At the turn of the century, Winston and the West End were served by an electric streetcar system. It was only the second such system in the country, and it was powered by the first hydroelectric dam in North Carolina. For quick and courteous taxi service to all points in the Triad, here's the number to call 24 hours a day, Bluebird Cab. And for Western Union and DocuFax Instant Mail, call Bluebird. Since the turn of the century, the city has been heavily involved in textiles and apparel. One of the earliest mills here was Shamrock Mills at 2nd and Marshall Streets, downtown. Over the years, the building saw many uses, fell into disrepair, and wound up on the market in the late 1970s. Then a miraculous transformation took place. Through the help of many corporate and individual sponsors, the building was completely rehabilitated as part of the $7 million Winston Square Cultural Project. The project became the cornerstone for an evolutionary revitalization of the downtown. The Sawtooth, as the old mill was called because of its jagged skylight-stripped roof, is today a center for the teaching and display of fine arts and crafts. Here anyone can learn fiber arts, pottery, and other skills. And the building houses several art galleries and adaptable public spaces. Downtown Winston-Salem. Get into it. Adjacent to the Sawtooth building is Winston Square Park, a public amphitheater where live entertainment, including luncheon concerts, is presented daily from spring to fall. Half a block away on 4th Street, a developer saw special worth in an aging dime store at 4th and Spruce Streets. The old store was transformed into Mercantile Plaza. The plaza, with its bright, casual atmosphere, has become a popular place to shop and dine or gather with friends. What is Mercantile? Well, it's many things. It's an addictive experience. Great cards, postcards, balloons, t-shirts, mugs, and stuffed animals. A marvelous presentation at Applause Gifts. A distinctive handcrafted touch of the Carolinas, a touch of elegance. Hot bagels and croissants at 7:30, and great food all day at Hollywood Bake Shop and Cafe. Mercantile Plaza on 4th Street, next door to the Stevens Center. The Roger L. Stevens Center for the Performing Arts is a crowning jewel in downtown Winston-Salem's renewal efforts and exemplifies the city's dedication to the arts. Primarily, the Stevens Center, owned by the North Carolina School of the Arts, provides a stage for student productions and those of the area's major professional troupes, including the North Carolina Dance Theater and the Winston-Salem Symphony. The performances at the Stevens Center are only part of the performing arts scene in Winston-Salem. Here's a calendar of arts and other activities for the month. Admission is charged for some of the events listed here. The Winston-Salem Journal, whose building just north of the Stevens Center is a replica of Philadelphia's Independence Hall, publishes weekly entertainment sections. On Friday, look for What's On, a preview of the Triad weekend. Saturday's paper includes Entertainment Week, and Sunday's Journal has a special arts and leisure section. Along the wide sidewalks of 4th Street, east of the Stevens Center, you'll find a variety of interesting places to shop. In the 300 block, visit Windsor Jewelers. Fine custom and traditional jewelry. Exclusive home of Rado Swiss-made watches. 4th and Cherry Streets, Windsor Jewelers. In the 200 block of 4th Street, you'll see Davis Department Store, which for many years has provided downtown shoppers with a wide selection of crystal and gift items. Shop Davis for men's and women's clothing, from basic items to the latest fashions. Davis on 4th Street in the heart of downtown. Twice each year, the downtown explodes with activity as major street festivals draw hundreds of thousands to the center city. If you're lucky enough to be here for Mayfest or for Street Scene in September, you'll enjoy the talents of nationally known performers and the area's finest cooks and craftsmen. Winston-Salem is fortunate to have colleges and universities that complement each other's contributions to the community. The North Carolina School of the Arts trains exceptional students striving to reach the pinnacle of performance in drama, music, and dance. Salem College, a descendant of the girls' school established here in the 1770s, also has outstanding strengths in the arts. Salem, the 15th oldest college in the nation, offers a well-rounded curriculum with well-established programs in the liberal arts and sciences. Wake Forest University also offers training in the arts and is known for its programs in liberal arts, business, law, and medicine. Wake Forest is a member of the Atlantic Coast Conference, a league that is perhaps best known for its skilled basketball teams. Wake Forest is also well known for its golf program, which has produced champions such as Arnold Palmer, Lanny Watkins, and Curtis Strange. Winston-Salem State University was founded in 1896 and is now part of the University of North Carolina system. Winston-Salem State's keen attention to student preparation has made the school a prime beneficiary of and contributor to Winston-Salem and Forsyth County's business community. Win free passes to Old Salem's 8 intriguing exhibit buildings by playing Find the Passes. A limited number are available each month at selected First Stop sponsors. To find them, you must visit First Stop sponsors outside the hotel and say, "First Stop sent me." Do you have the passes to Old Salem? You could win a fascinating day in one of America's finest historical communities. So get out and play Find the Passes to Old Salem. If you're planning to make the Triad your home, make Fortis Homes your home builder. For more than 25 years, Fortis has been building its reputation for uncompromising quality and value. Fortis's dedication to comfort and convenience is reflected in home styles such as the Ashland, winner of the 1988 Forsyth County Parade of Homes. For the locations and telephone numbers of Fortis communities, call this number or check the First Stop Finder, the new Fortis Corporation, the Triad's #1 home builder. The care for architectural detail that attended the grandest homes is reflected in new building and historic preservation throughout the county. The West End, recently designated the county's 4th National Historic District, contains many fine examples of Victorian and early 20th century architecture. A major attraction of the West End is the Zevley House, the oldest house in Winston Township, and one of the city's best restaurants. Built around 1815, the house was moved in 1974 to West 4th and Summit Streets and authentically restored and furnished. A hearty meal in an historic setting is the tradition of the Zevley House. At the turn of the century, Winston and the West End were served by an electric streetcar system. It was only the second such system in the country, and it was powered by the first hydroelectric dam in North Carolina. Much of the trolley's former route is still covered today by the trolley buses of the Winston-Salem Transit Authority. The trolleys loop through downtown, West End, Brookstown, and Old Salem at 20-minute intervals, serving hotels and their guests, and for just a quarter, they're a great way to begin tours of the historic districts. If you happen to be in the West End for lunch, the West End Cafe is a popular spot to dine in or take. Winston-Salem's Memorial Coliseum is an entertainment center that will be replaced soon by a new $24 million arena and exhibition annex. The new exhibition hall will also serve the Dixie Classic Fair, which lights up the sky during the first days of fall each year. Fall means exciting college football, but there's a sport here for every seasoned spectator, including professional baseball, hockey, and polo. And don't forget the special events throughout the year. We hope that you can join us for these and other activities. You help make Winston-Salem and Forsyth County a great place to be. Have a relaxing, fulfilling, and enlightening visit, and come again soon. Winston-Salem's warm and welcoming spirit extends to its churches and synagogues. These congregations invite you to worship with them this week.